I started by printing the patterns onto regular printer paper and added measurements for the sleeve. Then I cut out the front and back patterns and transferred them onto my fabric using a fabric pencil that removes with water. I quickly realized I had forgotten to include the head, so I had to start over. I made sure to align the spine of the puppet with the stronger grain of the fabric before cutting out 2 sets of the front and back pieces. Using the same patterns, I cut out a set from green and blue felt. I noticed that one side of the felt was stretchier than the other, so I placed the spine of the puppet along the stronger direction of the fabric for better structure. I hadn't sewn in a long time, so I used the muslin lining pieces that I forgot the head on to practice on the sewing machine first. Right away, I realized that the deep curves in the arms and head would be a challenge, but I was glad I took the time to practice before working on the final pieces. Once the lining was sewn, I turned it inside out and tested the fit. The sleeve length was good, but the hand area was a bit too big for me, so this is something I'll adjust and consider when making future puppets from general patterns. For my first puppet, I pinned the 2 lining sides together and sewed them as usual. For the outer felt layer, I pinned the 2 sides together, stitched the dart in the head first to add volume, and then sewed the whole piece. I kept the lining inside out when inserting it into the outer layer to give the inside a clean, finished look. To add some structure, I stuffed the head with a little bit of fluff, and then for the boning, I folded the bottom of the lining and sewed a sleeve for it. I specifically bought a type of boning that would be hand sewn or machine sewn, so it said on the package, but I quickly found out that my sewing machine could not handle it, so we had to take a quick intermission to change the needle. For the second puppet, I followed the same steps, however I didn't keep the pins in place well enough, so the edges of the felt didn't line up properly and I had to go over a few areas with extra stitches. This time, when adding the boning, I sewed the full sleeve first and then fed the boning through. Overall, I'm really happy with the finished puppets and I can't wait to perform with them. In hindsight, I wish I had fully completed one before starting the other so that it could help me better understand where I could improve and adjust the sizing potentially to fit my smaller hands more precisely, but overall I am happy with how they turned out. I chose green and blue because Joann's didn't have many colors in stock, but the combination reminds me of land and water, so I'm excited to explore this theme in future projects.